Play Alberta is offering odds boosts on every Oilers game all season long. And for a limited time only, our listeners can score a $50 free bet when they deposit $50 using code GYB50. That's how Alberta wins.
Kind of felt like it was going to be the same old for the Oilers tonight. Once again, down in a game, chasing it. But this time, the group had a little look-see in the mirror after the first period. Little team-focused discussion, and it worked. Big-time second period comeback. They grab a couple of points and put a stop to a Utah team that had been crushing people lately. Big win for the Oilers. Welcome to Got Your Back, folks. Thank you very much for joining us. We're on a post-game edition tonight. Jason Strudwick is right here. Chris Sabunia at his post in Kelowna, and we should be checking in with Robbie Brown in not too long a time. As always, Struddy, our show is brought to you by our great partners over at Timber House Developments, buddy.
Dream, Design, Build, Service. It's this commitment to process that helps their team create some of the finest customs homes in Edmonton. If you're thinking of a garden suite, infill development, or a fully custom home, talk to Timber House. If you can dream it, they can build it. With a full team of in-house designers and decades of construction experience, they bring your ideas to life. Visit timberhouse.ca today.
All right, I am mobile on my way home after the game, so that's why Struddy's got the reads managed. I will be back in the Timber House studio pretty shortly here as we check in with Struds and Zuby. Now, Struds, you were at the game tonight, were you not, my friend?
I was there, yep. I was there. Yeah, it was good energy in there tonight. It was weird because there was a lot of people checking on the Blue Jays too, and I get it,
Yeah.
But it was a great environment to see it. A lot of energy in there, a lot of excitement.
Yeah, no, it was a good game tonight. I'm looking forward to breaking this one down because there was a lot that went on. Should hit on the Blue Jays before we get rolling, though. Quite the night last night. Proud to say that I stayed awake. Resulted in a 3-hour nap today, but I stayed awake last night. That was a pretty good one, Zuby.
You know what? It was high tension, but it, other than a couple of scoring chances, you get into they played 2 games, right? And half of, you're into the all these deep into the bullpens. Lots of, especially the Jays starters were already out. So, there was a couple of moments, but it wasn't great. It wasn't the greatest second game that they played. The tension was so high. The stakes were so high. I did read somebody, I think Buster Olney said, I just saw a headline that he said he felt like there was no momentum coming out of that game, that neither team comes out of a game that long with momentum, and that proved to be true.
Yeah, well, quite the night tonight, too. Obviously, we couldn't watch it all, Struds, but that Ohtani-Guerrero matchup tonight was, that was kind of electric. And Ohtani gets the better of him early. Vladdy circles back around. Like, what a couple of juggernauts going toe-to-toe.
Yeah, it is. And they've got a team, they have a good relationship, but they're very competitive with each other, right? And I get it. They're both trying to win the championship. So, Vladdy's contribution to this team, especially in the postseason, cannot be underestimated. He's been unbelievable, and so is Shohei. So it's great to see the 2 top players on each team locking horns.
Going to be a gooder tomorrow night. Definitely going to be an off night for Oiler fans, so you can watch the game. You're not gonna be torn between the team and the Jays, and looking forward to that tomorrow night. Should be fun. I'm sure Brownie will have some things to say about that coming up a little bit later when he joins us. But for right now, Struds, we got lots to talk about from this game tonight. So courtesy our friends at the Canadian Brew House, let's get to our breakdown, buddy.
During every Oilers game day at the Canadian Brew House, enter at any Edmonton and area location for your chance to win Oilers home game tickets. That's right, home game tickets. Plus, enjoy $1 off Molson and Canadian Coors Light tankers. Edmonton-born, Canadian-operated, 48 locations across Canada.
And if you're looking for a spot to watch the Jays game tomorrow night, that
Cool.
will be hopping at any one of the locations. It's got those huge big screens and cool score clocks. Just a great place to go and take in sports. Okay, Struds, familiar script tonight. Big mistakes by important defensemen. On this night, it was Darnell Nurse. My goodness. Like, two just baffling ones that end up in goals back at the other end. You're scratching your head, just like, man, there you go again, you guys. And obviously, they were able to flip the script here, but holy smokes, buddy, just again, the same start.
Yeah, it was, I'm sitting there watching. I'm like, oh, please don't let them score. Because what happened, the first goal, Darnell gets it, tries to pull it back and or pass it just inside his own blue line, mishandles it. And then we got a fire sale, right? It's a lot going on and the puck's in the back of their net quickly. And then later on in the period, he's skating the puck up the ice. And he was trying to do the right thing. He's trying to chip and charge. So you chip it behind the D-men, skate around him and go get it. Well, either he didn't recognize or didn't think the linesman would be standing right where he tried to chip it. And to lineman's credit, he knocked that thing down. He looked like Alejandro Kirk. Nothing was getting by him.
Oh,
Stopped.
yeah.
And then they go back the other way. And again, so really tough start. The first one, I think Darnell can own that one. The second one, the first off, the linesman would feel sick about that because that really impacted the game. But a bit of bad luck there on that one. But either way, I'm sitting there after the first. I'm like, oh man, we just talked about the D and how, whether it was Ekholm or Bouchard or Nurse, and these guys are really struggling to find their game. And we're 20 minutes in and 2 goals against it. You could easily attribute to the D-men.
Yeah. Man, that first period, I think you're letting him a little bit off the hook on the second one too much. He had so much room. I mean, he had so much room. He could have put it anywhere. I mean, that linesman is what, 30 inches across? And like he had the whole side of the ice to put it in and still walloped him with it. And so back the other way it goes. And so there they are down 2-0. I'll tell you this, Struds, and we'll get to the turnaround in a minute. Tell you what I did not like. I did not like body language from some of the leaders on that team in the first period, man. Like frustrated guys and slow changes. I'll put McDavid in that group too. And that was before they were down 2-0. They came out tonight with strange energy and a frustrated energy. It was weird. And then they end up down 2-0. Am I wrong, or did you notice that too?
I'm going to be completely honest. It was in the back of my mind, but what I noticed was the speed and the way that Utah passed that puck. And to me,
Sure.
I think the Oilers are a bit surprised by how well those guys, that group passed it. Like it was, through the neutral zone with speed, 1-2 passes, boom, offensive zone. They're going east, west, north, south. They had guys rotating all over the place. Credit Andre Tournier. I didn't think he'd still be there as the coach, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But he's created a good culture there. So I think what I'm describing here, I think that led to some of the frustration from the Oilers because it was Utah who looked skilled and fast and organized in that first, as opposed to the Oilers. And I think that the team's like, oh man, this isn't what we expected from this group.
Yeah, well, like I said to Tommy next to me, I saw McDavid go off the ice and just kind of weird body language and frustrated and slow, sort of, head in the air. And I'm like, I said, this is way too early in a game to be that frustrated. Like, what's going on? So, and I make this point because it's very clear, and then they end up down 2-0. Very clear this group is kind of reaching a bit of a boiling point with its own play. Very clear that they've been in a slumber long enough and feel like enough is enough. Because after that first period, so it sounds like the leadership group kind of stepped up, got pretty vocal, a lot of looking in the mirror stuff, but for themselves as well, right? Some personal accountability as well. And then Chris Knobloch came in, and we're not going to paint this picture of Knobloch like peeling the paint or anything, not at all. I asked one person if it was that much different than what you might normally see, and they described it as maybe a little bit, but he's just not going to be that guy. But a very pointed message from a frustrated head coach, Struds, and it got good results. So why was Chris Knobloch so frustrated? We're going to get to the Weiss Johnson soundbox here right now. We don't have to do the read yet, Struds, because I want to maintain the point here. Knobloch goes in there with a statistic that is sticking in his craw, and he thumped him over the head with it. Here it is in the Weiss Johnson soundbox.
You know, I don't know what the players had talked about, but I know from the coaching staff, our message was we have to work. We can't come and just show up and think our skill's going to take over and win us hockey games. And like we turned over the puck, line rushes, we counted 16 times. And, you know, you're probably looking at maybe 2 or 3 a period. Ideally, a coach's standpoint, it'd be 0. But, you know, we turned it over 16 times on the attack, which didn't allow us to get any offensive zone time, didn't allow us to pressure them. It was really easy for them, and we have to defend instead. It got much better as the next 2 periods were. But, yeah, guys went to work, and obviously it got a lot better.
16 times off the rush, they turned it over. I talked to him after just for a bit of perspective on how rare that is, and it's rare for the number to be that high. So Struds, little self-regulating with the group, little bit of sounds like a little slap upside the head from the coach, and really good results. But it's about time, and it matters because it worked.
Yeah. So you and I have had our chats about when it's time to challenge people and or bench or whatever. And I think timing is important in these situations. And here's one today where, you know, it sounds like it maybe wasn't so much how he delivered it, but the type of message he delivered. And this is how what's happening. This is what we need to do, or what we've been doing, what we need to do. Because you think about 16 turnovers at the blue line in a period, that's 1 a minute. It almost, to me, that number seems actually incredible. You have to go back and watch the period to think about it. No, but I mean, really, Shoggy, like it is incredible. Like to think that you're almost 1 a minute. Like I heard them say the number earlier, and I was like 16, like maybe 8, you know, or something. But if that is indeed, and that's how they track, it doesn't matter what I think. If that's how they track and how they score, then to them that number matters. Not that it doesn't matter, but it's their accounting that matters, not mine. So he brings it in and says it, and you know, guys who have done it, they know. Like when you if you're a self-aware player, you know when a coach is talking about what you've done, and if you don't recognize it, then that's part of the problem, and you'll probably be, you know, somewhere else in another league sooner or later. So I liked it, and then the players, they also probably, you know, said, hey guys, like, and maybe they talked about this or not, but that wasn't good enough period, right? Like Utah looked really good in that first period, and they are a good team, but they're not ready to beat the Oilers at home, or shouldn't be able to beat the Oilers at home like they did in the first.
Well, the result was good. The effort in the second period results in 5 even strength goals. Like, wow. I don't even know the last time the Oilers would have put that number up. Don't have that stat handy, but that's certainly not something that happens very often, Struds. Was there a common theme for you in the turnaround? Like, did you see an adjustment en masse that was kind of the common denominator? To me, it just looked like work rate. Like the work rate just went up for everybody.
Well, two things. The first goal, Leon just flies up the ice and doesn't try to make a stop-up pass and pass it at the blue line. He bullies by someone, gets deeper in the zone, and throws it back to Ekholm. Someone standing in front of the net. So, you know, we've been talking about this idea of getting in goalie's eyes. We've been talking about taking the puck deeper than the blue line before you make a pass. Both those things happen there. And then you roll through some of the other goals. Great forecheck. Isaac Howard, he starts the disruption on the forecheck. He's the one who scores a goal on a nice little play by Henrique. And I think that what's his nuts there should have got an assist, Stetcher, but he didn't. You know, Leon Draisaitl's goal, same thing. You know, it's a bit of disruption. Leon gets a rebound, but the one I really like was Ty Emberson's goal. Right, that's a disruption. They get up. Frederick disrupts behind the net. Next thing you know, he bring the puck around. Or no, who was that? His goal? Yeah, I think it was Ty Emberson's. But that was
Emberson's goal. Yeah.
although they have Henrique and Ekholm as assists, which is a bit weird. But either way, there was an intention to not get stopped at the blue line. There's an intention to go and disrupt on the forecheck, and then get pucks and bodies to the net. And that was the best they've done it. The best 20 minutes they've played out of 33 this year. It's been 33 periods. It was amazing. It was impressive. And that's what I think the Oilers are when they're best. They're playing like that. They're forcing you to make mistakes. Pretty good deal over there, but they forced them to make mistakes.
Yeah, real nice comeback. And then what I liked is that, like, Utah didn't break when the Oilers pushed back. They actually grabbed some of the play back after the Oilers got a couple of quick goals. And I was impressed. It was like, these guys aren't going anywhere. Skinner makes the mistake, and now everyone's like, that was a tough one. But the Oilers continued to push, right? They just stayed with it and stayed with it. Utah didn't go quietly tonight. I liked how hard they pushed back. But again, the Oilers just found it, and it was a pretty impressive night once they got themselves going. I really like the fact, too, Struds, that with the game and the balance, I mean, the Oilers carried most of the play in that third period, and through really from 7-8 minutes in, they were the initiators and certainly weren't sitting back and allowing Utah to get themselves back in it.
Oh, just skating. Like they were skating and playing and making it hard and being disruptive. And I know I'm repeating myself, but that when the Oilers are playing their best, they are forcing the other team to play under pressure. And when they're not playing their best, they're casual and waiting for things to happen, or that extra move, that extra pass that just isn't there. So they went for it for good chunks of the game. The D were very active today. They were moving that puck well, jumping in on plays, pinching down the walls a couple times. So multiple times, but twice it resulted in goals. 3 times, I guess, it resulted in goals for.
All right, Struds, I'm just about at home, and it sounds like
Okay.
Brownie's close to being able to join us. So why don't you grab Relentless Player in the YouTube poll, and then the 3 of us will regroup together for takeaways and some more sound from the Weiss Johnson Soundbox.
All right, let's get into it. Relentless Player is brought to you by UCAN Youth Services. Do you need reliable entry-level staff? UCAN trains Edmonton youth with the skills and confidence to show up ready to work and to grow with your team. Learn more and make a change today at ucan.ca. Zuby, it's just you and me. Finally, like my good friend Tiffany says, I think we're alone now. And there's a guy that I don't believe he's gotten it this year, but he has been, along with Nugent Hopkins, a real driver for this team. He's been relentless. Of course, I'm talking about Leon Draisaitl. I mean, he comes right out there after the first intermission, gets that puck from Bouchard and drives it deep, finds Ekholm, and Ekholm, that classic way he loves to score, far side shelf, just absolutely rips it. But Leon's stat line tonight, goal and assist, +2, 20 minutes, shots, hits, bit of a tougher night in the faceoff die. You got kicked out of a lot, but he, to me, has been pushing and driving this team because the D haven't been doing it. Nuge has been there as well, but Leon now is 8th goal of the year. To me, it's an easy, relentless one for him.
2 goals in the Vancouver game as well, right? I mean, helped get them
Fair
a point
point.
there. And I thought he was the best player on the ice in Vancouver. I know you guys talked about it. I didn't see the whole game. I think you said there was a few iffy plays sort of in the first period. But, he seems like, Connor's maybe coming along. Leon seems like he's all the way there.
And that's a good point. I mean, Connor, we haven't really touched on, but he had 2 goals tonight, 1 into an empty net. It doesn't matter. I don't care if he had 5 into the empty net. That was a nice goal. The first one is a give and go with Nuge, blast into an open net, and then he gets the empty net goal. He has 3 goals, right? I don't know that we ever thought he'd be even close to that. Like he's going to be well past that by this point. There's players with 9 goals in the league, so I think that he's going to get himself going. For sure. Let's move on then to the YouTube poll brought to you by DeBoer's Golf Shop and Fitting Center. Get fit now. Before you get out your shovels and ice chippers, get fitted while you still have your summer swing. Their TrackMan bays are ready and their deals are hot. Go down, check out their pro shop style atmosphere located at 5311 99th Street in Edmonton. It's great. It's really easy right by the White Mud. What do you got for a question for us tonight, my man?
All right, so just want to take the temperature of the stream. of the folks here, and wondering how much they're reading into tonight's win and the result. So the question tonight is, how much do you read into tonight's result? And these are the options. 0, this game is an outlier at this point. The next choice is it's a good 40 minutes to build off of. The third choice is they're turning the corner. And the fourth choice was going to be they're all the way back. I was going to make that the fourth choice, but I didn't think anyone's going to pick that yet. So the fourth choice is it was the jerseys. We're giving the jerseys credit for the win tonight. If people are feeling that, that's the fourth option. So it's an outlier. It's 40 good minutes. They're turning the corner, or it was all about the jerseys tonight.
Yeah, and I think those are all fair questions, right? Or all fair answers. And maybe the jerseys not quite so much, but the other three, you know. So is this something? Is it 40 minutes they played well, or is it? I thought they had some good moments on the weekend, not enough obviously to get what they want, but now they got the Rangers coming in Tuesday. A team that's trying to find their game as well. But I think there's an opportunity now to kind of get back-to-back games where you really take it to them. I think it's Vancouver this weekend. So the next two games, really kind of play at a level where other teams can't keep up. If they play like they did the last two periods for even 5 periods in the next 6, I'm thinking they're walking out of there with 4 points, Zoobs.
And I think, I mean, I could be wrong about this. This is a fan perspective, but I feel like them getting some energy in the building with that, what they did in the second period will carry over, and a big, a decisive win and some good vibes can hopefully bring some energy into the building right from the start of these next games.
It's always, I think we get original 6 team in there. I think it gets exciting, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's just no disrespect to Seattle Kraken, but when the Rangers come in or Boston, I think there's just more energy in there for sure. Okay, let's take a pause here. When we come back, we've got myself, Zoobs, Shoggy, and of course, Rob Brown will join us. And then tomorrow, if you want to join us at 12, Zuby and I will have another edition of Strud's World, and it'd be a great get off the fence segment. Zuby and I have been kicking around for the last, 24 hours. So we'll get to that tomorrow. Lunchtime, check your local listings for that one. So let's take a break, Zoobs. When we get back, all the boys will be back to roll through.
Everyone's going to be here.
Yeah, the whole gang. Talk to you in a second.
Mainline Water and Sewer specializes in sewer line repair and replacement using advanced trenchless methods for fast, clean results. They provide detailed sewer assessments and scoping to identify problems before they become costly. Serving both residential and commercial properties, no job is too big or too small, and with over 40 years of experience, they've seen it all. Trust Mainline to keep your lines flowing smoothly.
So at Timberhouse, our guiding philosophy is naturally inspired living. We believe that through design, we can solve problems and enhance people's lives. We follow biophilic design principles in all of our builds to incorporate natural materials, natural light, to enhance all the spaces in a home. When you have your space perfectly reflect who you are and what you value, and it's made well, we think that that just leads to better living.
Rolling right along here on Got Your Back. I'm finally inside the beautiful and comfortable Timberhouse studio out here in Sherwood Park, bringing ideas to life. See what you can dream up together with Timberhouse. Time now to roll into our takeaways from tonight's game, brought to you by Chandos Construction. Chandos doesn't just hire talent, they invest in it. They're 100% employee-owned, so when their people grow, the whole company grows along with them. Ready to build something that matters together on a great team? Apply now at chandos.com. That's chandos.com/apply. Brownie, how we doing, buddy?
I'm doing all right. I got an Oiler victory tonight. I got a Blue Jay victory tonight. It's a good day to be a sports fan in Edmonton.
So how much attention, honestly, how are you watching both? Because I know you're a guy, you're a professional. I'm not saying that you're not very professional in your coverage of the Oilers, but be honest. Was it on your phone? Did you have a monitor nearby? How were you pulling double duty tonight?
Well, I think both of you have seen the little booth that I sit in my in the press box. I've got a big screen TV in there. So I had the Blue Jay game on the big screen TV. I could see that and occasionally see the Oiler game as well. I was watching both, depending on the importance of the play. That's the part that I was watching more at that moment.
All right. Well, did you happen to catch any of the second period of the Oiler game tonight? It was pretty critical. Were you paying attention for any of that, or?
Yeah, it was a commercial during the Blue Jays game, so yes, I did see some of it. It was a tale of two games, though. I mean, the first period, that was as listless as a 20 minutes as the Oilers have played all season long. They just turnover after turnover after turnover, and then all of a sudden, the second period, they decided to come out and play, and it all started with Leon. His first shift of the second period, he was a demon. He got little cross check to Crowley, got on his rocket blades on his skates. He was flying. He had a little anger in his game, and that just set the tone for the final 40 minutes.
Yeah, we talked about last segment, Struds and I, the first intermission, and it sounds like it was one of those intermissions, Brownie, where maybe a little different than just "come on, guys" or someone saying something here or there or whatever. It feels like it was potentially one of those turning point intermissions. It certainly was in that game. But 11 games in, does this feel like, considering how they responded to it, maybe this could be a bit of a transition point for them?
Well, it better be, because they haven't been good enough this year. And again, this is the beginning of the season, and it doesn't matter. The Oilers are making the playoffs. So it doesn't matter if they win the division or if they come in eighth. That's when the games really count. And Leon mentioned it today in one of his media avails. But they have not been near good enough so far this season. And it's mainly on the top players. Those are the ones that are supposed to carry the team. Top pairing defenseman hasn't been good. Nurse hasn't been good. Connor hasn't been near as good as he's supposed to be. But in the second period, it's like a switch went on. And they just decided, you know what, enough's enough. I don't want to hear any more social media or media. We're just going to go out and do what we do best. And they were excellent in that second period. That was the best 20 minutes they played all year long.
They were flying. They're absolutely flying. And what I liked, it was kind of the third and fourth lines that just, got a little gritty and just a classic forecheck. It was nothing special about what they did, except they were disruptive, got pucked back, up, over to the net, rebounds. Like, I know it's not super sexy, but those are things that matter when you're playing against any team, to kind of put them off their, get them off what they're trying to do, Brownie.
Well, and if you look at guys too, an offensive play, when you think offensive play, you're carrying the puck up the ice, you're thinking, okay, I'm going to deke a guy at the blue line, or I'm going to make this crisp 30-foot pass. Sometimes the best offensive play is dumping the puck into the corner so the puck sits up against the board so the defenseman struggles to get it off the board. So you get to run him into the glass. That's a better offensive play. And in the second period, the Oilers did that. First period, they didn't. And they simplified their game. They shot pucks on net and got rebounds. And I think Knobloch said afterwards that was their first rebound goal of the season in Game 11. They hadn't been shooting the puck from the point tonight. They did, and they're rewarded. So they simplified the game, and the best teams aren't the teams that are the fanciest. The best teams are the teams that execute. And in the final 40 minutes of this game tonight, the Oilers' best players executed perfectly, and it showed with 5 goals in 20 minutes.
Back to Draisaitl quickly here. It was a question I asked him pregame. I basically said, what do you make of this Utah team that's rattled off a bunch of wins in a row here, some good young energy, like they're off to a pretty good start here? That was basically the question I asked him. And I don't know, Leon was just in one of those blunt Leon moods. He goes, obviously a lot of skill, a team that's feeling it right now. But this isn't the time where it matters to feel it, right? You got to show it down the stretch. So obviously they got off to a good start, which helps. So it's going to be a great test for us. So he kind of started okay, brought it around at the end, but that middle portion, he's kind of like, I'm not impressed by a 7-game winning streak in October. Come talk to me in April when you hit the playoffs playing this way. Nice blunt comment from Draisaitl. I do have to say, though, Struds, it's a it's good that he was a big part of the turnaround tonight, and a good look that he was strong, because tonight on this show, if the Oilers had dropped this game to the Mammoth, I'd be pulling that quote out in a different context tonight, saying maybe this is part of the issue.
Yeah, well, I mean, as far as the quote, I mean, Leon's right. I mean, the next step is for them to get into the playoffs, right? That's it. I'm not sure anyone's thinking they're a threat to really do any damage in the playoffs. But, Leon, I actually gave him the relentless player tonight. I thought that he has been the most relentless player for the Oilers this season so far. He and Nugent Hopkins. He's carrying a lot of the offensive load. He and Nuge doing a lot of things right. But, Brownie just nailed it. Like, he came out that second period. He's like, we're getting this going. We're going to score. We're going to get going and start playing the way we're supposed to. And that's what leaders are supposed to do. Like, when they're after the first period that doesn't go well, no one's looking down at Ty Emberson and saying, MB, we need you, buddy. We need you to do this tonight. Or, looking at whoever, like Jan Markle, he's not in there. Janitor, you got to do this, right? It's the big guys that have to get it done. They lead the way by how they play. Yeah, the support staff can help, but they're not out there 21 minutes a night. Trent Frederick's out there for 12 minutes. You have double the minutes of him. You should be producing. You should be making a difference. And they did. He did specifically.
You know what, too? Like, I didn't take the Draisaitl comment as him throwing shade on Utah. I took it more as telling everyone else, "Okay, calm down. Just calm down." Like, really? This game, when the games are important, we know how to play. So to me, I thought the way he said it wasn't as much like, "Yeah, Utah, okay, we'll see later in the season how good you are." I think he was saying, "Okay, enough, people. The sky isn't falling. This is how we'll be okay. We know when the important games play." That's what I took it from with what he said. Because in all honesty, they don't matter now. It matters to Utah because they need to bank points to make the playoffs. It doesn't matter as much to the Oilers. They will be in the playoffs, and we've seen back-to-back years when the games get more important, the Edmonton Oilers get better.
3 years in a row. I mean, their Octobers have just been rotten. And I guess, better Octobers than Marches and Aprils and Mays, Struds. Like, what would you say there?
I think, isn't this their best in the last 2-3 years?
Yeah.
Isn't this their best October?
Well, their first 10 games last year, they had 4 wins. Yeah. Their first 10 games this year, they got 4 wins. Previous to that, it was 2 wins the year before. None of it is great when you know what this team actually is.
Yeah, they're trending in the right direction, right? 2-4-4. Maybe they'll get, well, now it's 5 wins in October.
That's
you gotta.
They're terrible in October. They're terrible. It just is what it is.
I feel like this year it has been better than now the record doesn't show. It's not like they're running it off a massive amount of wins, but I just think next year when they roll into training camp and they talk about how they're gonna have a good fall, we're like, hey, we've heard this song and dance. We'll see you in November, right? Like, honestly, it's just the way it is. And I think we have to accept it.
Well, can you just I've said this now for 3 years. It doesn't matter. These games don't matter. They matter to Utah. They matter to Vancouver. They don't matter to the perennial playoff teams because they're going to make the playoffs. Home ice advantage means nothing come playoffs. We saw that in the 2 teams that went to the finals this past year. Home ice means nothing. And it's funny that I don't know if you guys had it on your on the show tonight or if you're going to have it, but Ekholm had the best line ever tonight in his interview. Said, "This is the best start to a season I've ever had here in Edmonton. I feel pretty good about it."
I know. He was like, well, maybe people shouldn't shouldn't overreact. And he's like, paused, and I was like, us? And he goes, well, I'll let you decide if that's what I mean or whatever. But he was throwing a little shade at us in a playful way. We do have to get to Matthias Ekholm here in the Weiss Johnson Soundbox, brought to you by Weiss Johnson Heating and Air Conditioning. Their end-of-season AC sale is on now. There's a couple days left till the end of the month. Get up to 20% off any in-stock air conditioners. Visit WJJingle.com. Go to that website. Check out what they've got. It's exclusive for Got Your Back jingle lovers. It's WJJingle.com. Comeback win means we're going to let her breathe a little. All right, Matthias Ekholm post-game on some self-reflection.
I think just everybody felt enough was enough. I can just go to myself. I haven't liked my game at all the last 5-6 games. I don't think many guys in here have. So it was kind of coming to a point where, okay, we need to start putting our work boots on. And I thought, kudos to us. We responded in that second period, but more importantly, we found our game, and that's got to be the standard going forward. Everybody in this league is too good where you can just coast your way through a regular season. You have to put your work boots on. That's number one, and I think everybody realized that today.
Kurt Walushka says, "Attaboy Ekholm." I assume, Kurt, you like the accountability there. I thought that was a good, solid comment from him. And then the other thing, too, if as a leadership group you get up and say something, and it sounds like they did, the leadership group, and it sounds like Ekholm was part of that, well, who are the ones that came out and set the tone in that second period, Brownie? Like, this is why I think it could be a little bit more of a turning point, and that's part of our poll question tonight. What do you read into this? But when your leaders are finally kind of like, okay, whatever was said in there was said, and then they go out and do it themselves, like when they decide enough is enough, meaningful change will happen, Brownie.
Well, yeah, they have to say it, then they have to go out and prove it. I mean, I know Struds has probably been in dressing rooms, and I have before, where someone will stand up and start berating everyone and blaming everyone else, then go out in the next period and suck. I mean, Stolar's in Toronto, blames Nylander, goes out the next game, and he wasn't very good. So if you're going to stand up and tell everyone to be accountable, A, you have to admit to yourself, I'm part of the problem, but B, you've got to be the one out there leading by example. And I think the Oilers did that. Their best players were their best players tonight. And if they haven't been every game, Strud, there's been games that their best players have been quiet, or even on the other side of quiet where they've been part of the problem. I thought tonight, Strud, the Oilers' best players dominated, and a big reason the Oilers had the game that they had.
Well, I think we got to give a couple taps to Chris Knobloch, because he makes the comments in between the first and second period, but then to start the second period, he reunites Ekholm and Bouchard, and they promptly answer with a goal. And then they played it quite a bit together after that. So maybe that's kind of the restart he needed. So you hear the guys talking in the room, you're like, okay, let's see what you guys can do. We'll put you together, and they did. And like I said, they scored right away, within seconds. So I like that from Knobloch. It's kind of like a double bounce for Knobloch in that moment.
Do you want to take it a step further? Am I allowed to give two stick taps and a woo? What is it? 2 whats and a what? No. So I don't know if I'm allowed to give these out or not.
No, you can't.
But I'm thinking I can't.
No, it's not that good. It's game 11, right? You're handing them out like it's Halloween and your full size chocolate bars.
Let me make
Gotta
a
have
case.
respect.
You can be the arbiter on whether we give out two fist bumps and a yip. You can be the guy that decides, but here's the case. And I'm going to play to your heart on this one, Struds. I'm going right to your heart here. Evan Bouchard, 3 assists. Matthias Ekholm, a goal and an assist. That's 5 points. Keep going on this one. Ty Emerson, a goal. That's 6 points. What else am I missing here? Jake Wallman, 2 assists. 8 points. 8 points from the defenseman tonight in a big come-from-behind win. If that's not worth 2 high fives and a bum pinch, I don't know what is. So are we going to do one?
Just so we're clear, I've never given a bum pinch to anyone in a celebratory manner. That might be, something that you're more familiar. I don't know what that is. But
so we're not doing it then. I can do the timing. We want to go on 3, 2, 1, go, or just
no,
3, 2, 1,
none.
3.
We're shutting it down. No, nothing. This is why, boys. This is why. This is a group that should. This is a group that should produce a lot of offense from that back end, and they haven't been. So I'm. Do we give out 2 claps and a woo for doing something you're supposed to do?
8
I'm
points?
not sure
They're not supposed to do 8 points in a night. They're not supposed to get that. If that doesn't get you 2 claps and a yip, I don't know what does.
I just think that the standard they've set for themselves, this isn't my standard. This is a standard they do, and they carry. They're supposed to put points up. They're supposed to do this. So Yeah, I'm not handing out the 2 claps and a woo for that today. I'm stingy. I haven't handed one out all year.
Wow. All right. Something tells me that Brownie will be less stingy with his points when it comes to the D in the next segment, Brownie.
Maybe. I mean, I'm on Struddy side on this one though, Shogger. It's game 11 Tuesday night against Utah. You want to go 2 fist bumps and a bum slap. You do it for Vladdy Guerrero going deep tonight for the Blue Jays. That is worthy of 2 high fives and a slap bump. Like, you don't just give it out to anyone. Oh, they beat Utah on a Tuesday night. Yeah. Come on, Shogger. Come on, game 11.
I thought 8 points. I thought 8 points might do it. And the big guy and his love of the defenseman in the defense union and everything, I thought maybe that would get us there, but I guess not. Apparently the standards are higher than I thought. Okay, let's get to break. When we come back on the other side, we're going to do brownie points. I feel like, I don't know, Struds, I feel like I got some coming tonight. I have a gut feeling that I have some coming. I don't know why. It's been a while since he's given us some and taken any away. No, I just have a gut feeling.
What are you doing? You want everyone to be. You're worse than the people that hand out participation ribbons to 10 teams that come to a tournament. We're all winners. That's what you sound like tonight.
This has Got Your Back, presented by Timberhouse. We'll be right back. Yeah.
Riverside Motorsports is your ultimate multi-brand dealer. With a massive lineup of motorcycles, ATVs, side-by-sides, snow bikes, e-bikes, and snowmobiles, all under one roof. With Alberta's best selection, a huge parts and accessories inventory, and a fully certified service department, Riverside has everything you need to ride. Family-owned and serving Edmonton for over 55 years, see what they have to offer in-store just off St. Albert Trail or online at riversidemotorsports.com.
For over 60 years, Belvedere Golf and Country Club has delivered a high-quality membership experience to Edmonton and area. And now it's even better. Drainage and irrigation improvements in 2024 have taken course conditions to a new level. This commitment to long-term sustainability means exceptional playing conditions all season long. Belvedere's tee sheet availability is unmatched, so join now and experience golf the way it was meant to be played, on your schedule. Visit belvederegcc.com today.
Quaddy says Shogger losing brownie points for groveling for brownie points. That was not groveling. That was anticipating brownie points to come. That was so far from groveling. I will grovel. Sherry Frazee says, oh man, Shoggy. Oh, I lost that one. Oh man, Shoggy, you have to get the saying right. 2 claps and a woo. Oh, is that what it is, Strud? Is 2 claps and a woo?
Yeah, why are they calling the old man? Old man Shoggy. Why is that a new thing?
No, old man.
Oh, they said man.
No, beat it like with that. Also, some chat here on the YouTube chat. Zuby, did you try and implement an air horn at some point in there? What happened with that?
Yeah, that was me bringing in the DJ air horn just to, instead of the 2 claps and a yip yap, I was trying to support the fellas with the air horn. Okay. The DJ air horn. But it came in way louder than I thought, so I apologize to anybody's ears.
It like killed everybody's audio, and I couldn't hear anything for a minute. It just says, pah, pah, pah.
It was like I was bleeping Struddy for going off color.
Let's get it back on the rails here, folks. Time to get it back on the rails. No better way to do that than brownie points, right? The most serious segment on this entire show. And Brownie Points, as always, is brought to you by the Alberta Ram Dealers. A 2025 Ram 1500 is Motor Trend's Truck of the Year. Visit your Alberta Ram dealer to get into this award-winning truck at a great price. Capable, stylish, powerful Ram. Bring on my Brownie Points, Brownie. Bring them on.
Well, I got to be honest. I apologize. I didn't know that you'd done something special lately. I must have missed it. So I don't have anything for you. I mean, from now on, like maybe send me a text or an email when you do something cool so that I'll know about it, and then I'll be able to get you some brownie points because my ledger is like bare for brownie points for you. So please forward me any videos or texts or anything to let me know when you do something pretty cool. Anyways, I got five brownie points. Now, well, you might if you keep interrupting me during brownie points. I got 5 brownie points to the Oilers team that had been struggling to score 5-on-5, but broke through in a big way today in the second period by scoring 5 even-strength goals. After a listless opening 20 minutes where they turned the puck over shift after shift after shift, the Oilers turned up the work ethic in the second period and, lo and behold, found their offensive game. I'm taking away brownie points. I'm taking away 16 brownie points to the Oilers in the first period for the effort that they put forth, where they turned the puck over 16 times on the rush. It was as poor a 20 minutes that the Oilers had played all season long. They lacked intensity in the first period, and it showed when their puck was on their stick. I got 4 brownie points to Oilers head coach Chris Knobloch, who for the first time this year kept his lines together from the previous game and didn't shuffle them after a poor first period. This is the first game where I believe all the players looked comfortable on their lines and you could see a little chemistry forming. I got 6 brownie points to the Oilers' top pairing of Ekholm and Bouchard, who both had slow starts to their season and have taken a beating on social media and media alike. So let's give them a little love to the top pairs, who finished with 1 goal, 5 points, and +6 on the night. This is what the Oilers are used to seeing and expecting from their 2 best defenders. And finally, this isn't going to Rishaug, but this is going to Canada's other big story. 4 massive brownie points to Canada's Toronto Blue Jays that shrugged off an emotional, draining 18-inning loss last night and came out and dominated the LA Dodgers in a 6-2 victory to even up the series at 2 games apiece. It is now a best of 3, and 2 of those games are in Toronto. Go Blue Jays, go! And those are my brownie points.
All right, there they are. Any commentary on that, Struds?
Yeah, I was reading the Brownie Points guidebook, and for anyone trying to beg for points, it's an automatic 10-point deduction in Brown points. So I'm not sure if you want to carry through with that, Brownie. It's up to you, but that's what they're doing in the guidebook.
It will be reflected. It will be reflected in the November announcements of the previous month's Brownie Points. Rishaug was safely in second place, but I don't know. I was almost embarrassed for him.
Likewise.
I just had a feeling. I had a feeling that I had some brownie points coming. I'm just articulating
Why?
that feeling.
What did you do? What? Help me.
I don't know. Sometimes you get that feeling, Brownie. I don't know. We've had some good interactions lately. You know, I think our texts we've been agreeing. We agreed with each other last show or a couple shows ago, 2 shows ago. Yeah, I just thought maybe we would build off of that a little bit. And I just felt like maybe tonight was going to be my night, but that's fine. It's fine because I broke even, and I'm totally good with that. And
I'm sorry, I went with Vladdy Guerrero and the Blue Jays ahead of you. That's my bad. My bad. Yeah. I will correct that.
Okay, get your head on straight. Something you brought up, though, I do want to transition into core adjustments. This is a topic, and it's been a topic since the start of the year. And so as we get into some core adjustments here, we'll remind you that's brought to you by HSE Core Services. If you need a safety program, like if you're a business owner, you know what all this stuff is, right? So you need that safety program. They can build it. Then you need it managed. They can do that for you too. And if you're stuck dealing with the online safety registries and your clients need you to do them, they can handle all that as well. Core audits as well. So if you own a business, you know this stuff can be a bit of a pain in the butt. Visit www.hsecor.com. That's hsecor.com. It sounds to me, it's a couple availabilities in a row now, Struds, where Chris has alluded to the fact that everybody seems to be sitting in their proper place, in their proper chair, is the way he put it tonight. We've been talking so much about this knob lender. It feels to me like he is sending a signal with his words and his actions tonight that he's going to try and back off all of the movement all over the place. Everyone's in their proper chair now, Struds.
Yeah, you know when you should be trying out all the different lines is in preseason, right? That's when he had Connor and Leon together. So he actually did it backwards. And Knobloch does a lot of good things, and I can't back off that idea that in the preseason, that was a mistake. Right? The preseason, first few games, why have them together? Let everyone try it out, see what it feels like. So it took them now a number of games to kind of figure out where everyone slots. I think Roslovic and his game is rounding into what I'd call like NHL ready or whatever you want to call it. Like he missed training camp. So it's a lot of things that have worked well, but you know, playing Connor and Leon together, Brownie, makes no sense to me in preseason. They've done it a million times. Play others, let them figure out what it's like to play with them.
Well, this even goes back to last year too, where they brought in Arvidsson and Skinner to play with Leon, and they weren't even practicing together till the end of preseason. So yeah, a couple odd years in a row with line management in the preseason. But I do believe where the players are lined up right now, I think this is the best it can look until they get healthy, until they get Hyman and Janmark and Kapanen. I think they're slotted in the top six properly. I think Savoy looks comfortable in a checking role. The only one that I am unsure of, and whenever one gets healthy, I'm not sure he's still here, is Noah Philp. I mean, right now tonight, Strud, he was, and I've been here, and I know what it feels like. He was benched for nobody. Like no one took his spot. It was a seventh defenseman that took his spot. That's the one player that I'm worried might not be around here long term, which is shocking considering he was in the summer, I think in all of our minds, a lock to be part of this team going forward.
Yeah, I mean that's a tricky one, right? And then what happens to when Hyman comes back? Tomashek would come off the power play, and then where does his minutes go? I think that there's some juggling to be done for sure. But if I'm not in now, like Noah Philp, I am concerned. I'm worried about where I'm at.
I mean, okay, so sticking with the Philp conversation, like, has Tomashek shown you enough at even strength that you want him on this team ahead of Philp? Like, I know he's on the first power play unit for now, but at even strength, Brownie, I mean, if you had to choose between the two of those guys, I think I'd take Philp and a little bit more size and a little bit more willingness to finish some checks and a little bit more bottom six style stuff. Like, to me, Tomashek was here to see what he could do as a top, 7-8 forward, but hasn't really worked out that way.
I like Philp. I do, and I would have had him in the lineup every one of these games. But we saw in the preseason when there was a too many men on the ice where Knobloch had Philp serve the penalty. And that's the first sign I'm like, okay, he's not going to be a penalty killer here. They don't have any thoughts of him doing that. And the fact right now, they've got 3 guys injured that will be in their lineup. Kapanen, Hyman, and Janmark will be in their lineup. And as Strud said, Philp's not playing now with those guys out. They actually dressed a defenseman to play instead of him tonight. They had Curtis Lazar play ahead of him in a couple of games. So I don't think Philp and Tomashek, those are apples and oranges. It doesn't matter. I honestly don't. When they get fully healthy, I don't know if Noah Philp is on this team because he's not going to penalty kill for you. And if he's not playing now with those 3 guys out of your lineup, then he certainly is not going to be playing for you when they're all back and healthy.
I'm going to throw another theory out there really quick, and then we'll move on from this. I think that they're going to have to make some tough decisions, and some guys who thought they were going to be in the NHL this year are going to end up not. And I think that they need to be able to say that they gave everybody opportunity, right? They need to be able to look at these guys, most of them NHL players, and say, you were given a chance to grab your spot. So for Lazar, they're going to have to work him into some games here and there, because to just drag him along and never play him and then drop him down, that's tough. Did you give a guy a legitimate chance, right? Tomashek has gotten a great look. They convinced this player, high-scoring player, not that they had to convince him, but they brought him over. And if it's not going to work out in the NHL and he's going to end up in the American League, it needs to have made sense that he got lots of opportunity. Troy Stecher, right? They go 7 defensemen. They never do that. And Regula's on his way back. They have to give Stecher some minutes too. So for me, Brownie, I view some of these decisions as being somewhat in the name of making sure guys get a fair look before these tough decisions have to come. And I can't help but think Philp will be on the right side of it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he doesn't penalty kill. He does not penalty kill for the Edmonton Oilers, so he's a fourth line guy that doesn't penalty kill, and they would be playing him. No, they don't need to give Troy Stetcher minutes. He's got 500 games in the National Hockey League. If he's not on the roster, they don't need to say, "Hey, we gave you a chance." This isn't a be nice to you type of league. This is a wins first league. This Oilers team hasn't played well to start the season, and Noah Philp could still not get into the lineup. I like Noah Philp, I do, but I don't think I don't see that as a theory going forward, where they have to give these guys minutes so that they can send them down. No, I don't think so. If they felt Noah Philp could help them win tonight's hockey game, then I feel that Noah Philp would have been in the lineup.
There's going to be a log jam. If everyone's healthy at the same time, there will be a log jam. And I think some of the players will have value on the open market. Not a lot, but I think there would be some for these players that have value in the open market. And maybe there's got to be a move, right? And you're trying to get something back for these guys, because right now they have a lot of depth. They really do have a lot of depth.
Yeah, it's a good point, Struds. Maybe more on point than what I was saying about opportunity, and more about a trade would help this group. I mean, they've got, with Regula coming back, they do have a log jam, and they got some good NHL players that aren't going to be with this team. So maybe it helps them get a deal done. All right, that was our core adjustments, brought to you by HSE Core Services. I want to transition real quick into our Play Alberta segment tonight, into our storyline. Zuby, you sense there might be some offense rolling through tonight, and that was definitely the case. A real interesting line that we put out a little bit earlier on today. We'll remind you, this is brought to you by Play Alberta. Want to know how Alberta wins this NHL season? You can find odds boosts on every Oiler game with Play Alberta. For a limited time only, our listeners can score $50. 50. That is code GYB50. Zuby, a couple of things you were keeping an eye on that actually came to fruition tonight, but an exciting offensive game all around for fans that came tonight.
Yeah, just following a couple trends. First, we noticed that Connor McDavid had 7 points in 3 previous games against the Mammoth since the team had moved to Utah. So we took 2+ points for Connor, and of course he delivered 2 goals, 1 an empty netter. But hey, they don't ask how, just how many. And so he got his 2. And then the other thing we went with, and, Stu Skinner's taking a little bit of heat on the stream here tonight, as he tends to, especially, very specifically for the 3rd goal. But Stu Skinner hasn't given up more than 3 goals in a game this season. And that was the other part of our parlay, was Stu Skinner 3 goals allowed or fewer. And he came through on that as well. So,
interesting. Yeah, and a reminder on game days, we're going to throw out just something that interests us, a story wrapped up in a line, and if you want to take it, great, but always interesting storylines that we keep an eye on. Struds, what do you think this will do for McDavid getting a couple tonight? Not that he needs confidence or anything like that, but it was kind of awkward that he had talked about wanting to score more goals and had 1 through 10 games, right? 3 looks a lot better than 1.
Oh, I mean, he's capable of putting up, in 3
38
games, he can put up, 6 goals, or 38. And not that I'm feeling good about that, but I think that he is a guy that I think he does put pressure on himself, but maybe it's a couple things, luck maybe wasn't there. And tonight it was a quick little 1-touch to Nugent, gets it back, and bury it, and an empty netter. So now you're sitting there with 3, and I know it's hard to believe a guy who scored as many as Connor, but you're feeling it. You're now moving up against the Rangers. He scored some great goals against them in the past. So I think we might see him go on a little bit of a run here. And then this idea of, struggling to start scoring goals for the season will be well behind him.
Brownie, what do you think
I
of
agree.
McDavid getting a couple? Yeah.
Well, it's one of those things. It's like when you go on a road trip and you lose the first 3 and then you win 1, and then the next game, all of a sudden, if you win that, you won 2 in a row. And all of a sudden, you don't even think, well, the 3 losses before. If McDavid goes out against the Rangers and has a hat trick, all of a sudden he's got 5 goals in 2 games. And that's what you're talking, not about the 1 in 10. And he's got the ability to do it. And all players, no matter if it's the best player in the world or the worst player in the world, confidence means something. And as much as Connor hasn't maybe shot as much as usual, he's had some grade A looks. Some really good grade A looks. Had a breakaway tonight, and the puck wasn't going in for him. Sometimes you just need a little bit of puck luck, or you just need a break. to get that goal in. And now the next time you go down, maybe you're a little more confident. There's not that pressure that Strud talked about that he puts on himself. I haven't scored in 9 games. I'm on a breakaway. I better score here. Now he feels good. He feels good about himself. I know as a goal scorer, an empty net goal meant just as much as an end-to-end goal because you felt the puck go into the net and you got to put your arms up and celebrate afterwards. So I think he will start to break out now, and this slow start to the season will be forgotten very quickly.
That is our storyline, brought to you by Play Alberta. Reminder, a $50 free bet using the code GYB50 when you sign up. Okay, before we get to Struddy's World here, just quickly to the YouTube chat, Trizent chimes in. Has Struddy ever been this clean-shaven before? Strings on a purple hoodie, not symmetrical, a bit distracting, not gonna lie, says Trizent. So, Struds, are you more freshly shaven right now than you would normally be? And what is going on with your string distribution on your hoodie?
Well, Trizent, I get it. You're not the first person to get lost in my eyes. I mean, let's be honest here. That's a lot of people taking a deep swim in those things. Yeah, I shaved today. Thanks for noticing, right? Pretty big deal. And then the hoodie, I just put it on and I try to be, it's a little bit of chaos, right? Everything else is almost in perfect position. My hair, the jawline, the shave. So a little bit of something just to make it not look so perfect. So show homey-ish, if you will.
Wow. And with that, time for Struddy's World. Roll the intro.
When you make a mistake, heads should roll. It's not right. And I'm here. Someone has to put their foot down. Now that I say it out loud, it does sound a little crazy.
Gotta look good.
All right. It is Struddy's World. Apparently, we're all just living in it, admiring him. It's brought to you by Body Realty at Royal LePage AR Team Realty. Buying a home's a big decision, right? And you need good people around you helping you. Well, Body Realty guides clients through the complex process with expertise and care, unwavering support. Their clients will say they make you feel like you're the only client that they have, because that's what you need, right? Personal service, letting you know that what you got going on is important to you. That's Body Realty, BHATTI, realty.com.
So there's so much positivity we have, talking about the second and third periods of this Oiler game. There's got to be, something still talking about the D. So late in the second period, there was a bit of an on-man rush. I believe it was Wallman was defending, and it was kind of a bit of a 2-on-1, but Nurse, such a good skater, he hustles back to get back into position. He gets there and he kind of vacates the front of the net, and there's a shot and nothing really quite happens. Now the puck goes behind the net, and Nurse, who isn't in front, and now he has to come front of that because the puck comes back in front to Gunther, Dylan Gunther, a local product, and he kind of hits and knocks Gunther over. So there's been kind of 2 chances here, and the first one maybe not. Nurse could have been there. The second one for sure he could have been in front with Gunther. So Gunther kind of goes sliding towards the corner. The puck continues to kind of fumble around. Gunther now jumps to a position of where you see all the scorers shoot from, kind of around the dot, between the dot and the hash mark. That's Darnell's guy. And Darnell is standing in front of the net. Now, puck comes to Gunther, and Gunther gets another shot off and hits square in the chest of Stu Skinner, but that's not the point. It's just that Darnell, I think, is that time of guilty of trying to do everyone's job. Just do your own. Right? In that moment, just do your own. You're such a good skater. You can cover so much ground, but in a hope to try to be, everything to everyone, just do your own job because everyone else is doing their job. And that's the advice I'd give to Darnell. Just slow the game down, do your job. Don't have to be a superhero every night. Just get it done. And I think it makes it a lot easier. And I think when Darnell's struggling, he is guilty of trying to be everything out there on the ice when that actually complicates things for himself and his teammates.
No, that's a good point, Strut. I mean, we've seen that with Nurse the last couple of years. When he simplifies, he's effective. But I think sometimes he thinks he needs to do more than he does. And to your point of how that complicates everything else, if everybody in their own zone, you as a group, you have your role. Everyone knows where they're supposed to be. Where it gets messed up is when somebody does someone else's job. So now he does Wallman's job. Well, now Wallman's like, okay, where am I supposed to be? And he goes somewhere. And now all of a sudden the winger's like, well, how come he's not there anymore? And it becomes a fire drill. And it's all because one player tries to do too much. And also, Connor McDavid's guilty of that sometimes, where he tries to do too much, tries to go 1-on-4 and turns the puck over. They come the other way. It's just sometimes you care so much that you get yourself and your teammates in trouble by doing too much. But Darnell Nurse, when he is his most effective, he simplifies, and then he's a very effective defenseman. But I think Darnell, like a lot of the players, have struggled to start this season, and this was another game where Darnell had a tough one through the first 20, 25 minutes of this hockey game.
So it was pointed out on the stream, and I'll admit I didn't notice this while it was happening at the time. So picking up on it after the fact here, maybe that's because there were 7 defensemen in the lineup. Darnell ended up with 16 minutes, between 16 and 17 minutes. His first shift in the second period didn't come till the 6:54 mark. So he didn't get on the ice till 6:54 into that second period. Again, we allow for a block shot or an injury or something like that. But with 7 defensemen in the lineup, you have the leeway to maybe sit a guy down if you want to, and it doesn't throw every single pairing out of whack. So I'm not sure. It'd be interesting to maybe follow up with Chris Knobloch on that and see what that was about. But that's notable, Struds. Notable.
Yeah, it is. It is. And yeah, they're just simple. I just want to make it clear. Simplifying doesn't mean unskilled plays. It means just taking care of your house. And on a good team, everyone just has to do their own job. And I think that's a message that I'd be giving if I was Mark Stewart to Darnell.
All right. That was Struddy's World, brought to you by Ibadi Realty Group. Brownie, enjoy the game tomorrow night, my friend. And we'll chat Thursday after the Oilers and the Rangers. Where are you going to watch?
I had good luck tonight, and I was sitting in the press box at Rogers, so I'm going to have to use my pass and sit in the press box by myself tomorrow night to make sure that the Blue Jays win. I am doing my part, just so you guys know.
Hey, Shogger, can I ask Brownie if there's there's 2 quick Ask Us Anything questions that were with Brownie in mind as well. Before we cut him loose,
the extra for this, Brownie, or are you good to just do it for free? Because I'm letting you go if you're charging for this.
These ones are on the house, okay? These ones are on the house.
Wow. La-di-da. Okay.
Okay, great. I think these will be fairly quick. Clifton Tiffinger said, Struds or Brownie, what's the longest game you played in, and how did you feel the next day? And I wondered, Brownie, I know the Pens kind of in your area had a couple of big, long playoff games. Were you ever in either of those, and how'd you feel the next day?
I felt great the next day. I was a third, fourth line guy. So my 23 minutes was just fine for me. It didn't bother me at all. But it is weird playing in those games. You just get giddy. Like the second, third, fourth overtime, like you're lining up against the guy on the other team. You're both kind of looking at each other, giggling because I can't believe this is still going on. But yeah, it was a 5 overtime game. I was more tired watching the Blue Jays game last night than I was when I played in the 5 overtime.
Struddy, were you ever in a marathon at any level?
No, I think I maybe 1 overtime period, right? Obviously, I was so skilled, I ended it before the end of the game.
Okay, and quickly, the other one was, what was the favorite jersey of any of the teams you played for? Let's say, like at any level, was there a jersey? Because we'll get back into this with the poll. We talked about the Oilers' new thirds, the retro-looking thirds tonight. But was there a jersey you ever wore, a specific incarnation that you really loved?
Yeah, the Chicago Blackhawks when we went old school. I think that would have been in 91 or 92. They went back to the old school Chicago Blackhawk one. I have that one at my house. That's my favorite jersey ever. They look cool. I love the Chicago Blackhawk logo, and when they went with the old time jerseys, by far my favorite jersey ever.
Yeah, New York Rangers Lady Liberty on the crest with the lace in the neck. Mm-hmm. It was elite jersey.
And they haven't really brought, like, that one was a pretty big deal for a bit. They haven't really brought that back, have they?
No, I haven't seen it. Doesn't mean they haven't done it, but I mean, they probably do. It was a sick jersey, absolutely sick jersey.
All right. With that, Brownie, thanks for the freebie. Great work the last 5 minutes or so. We'll let you go.
All right, guys, go Jays.
All right. That is Rob Brown. A little stingy with the brownie points tonight for my liking. When we come back, let's take a lap around the league, see what else is going on. By the way, tons. This is one of those days, everybody in action. So we'll have a nice full scoreboard for you. Ask Us Anything, the second edition of Ask Us Anything tonight, coming up, and our play of the day. So lots ahead here on the show. Stay with us. This has Got Your Back, presented by
We Have Fence. There's nothing more frustrating than having to wait months for something you're excited about. DLR Vinyl has products you will love stacked to the ceiling in both Calgary and Edmonton. Because summers are for catch and raise, not product delays. Go vinyl at dlrvinylproducts.ca.
You can say it now if you want.
Timberhouse, brought to you by Timberhouse. Did you cut me off entirely there, buddy?
It'll be in the audio version, but not in the YouTube version.
A little quick on the trigger. Quick on the trigger.
Trying to time it out perfectly.
That's okay. I know. Love the retro action here on Got Your Back. Time for Struds and I to take a couple of laps. Brought to you by Riverside Motorsports, your multi-brand motorsports dealer, serving Edmonton for over 55 years. They've got a diverse selection of new and pre-owned motorcycles, ATVs, side-by-side, snow bikes, e-bikes, snowmobiles. They got it all. An extensive inventory from industry-leading brands located just off St. Albert Trail, or check them out online at www.riversidemotorsports.com. Big signing today, Struts.
Yeah, massive signing, and really good D, man. Thomas Hartley of the Dallas Stars signed a 8-year times just over $10.5 million deal. I love this player, and if you do know who he was before the Four Nations Cup, you do know him now. I believe he'll be on the Olympic team. Absolute stud. The money is what it is, right around the same as Evan Bouchard. But he is a really, really, really good D-man.
What do you think of the money being in and around the same as Evan Bouchard? What do you think of that? He hasn't done what Bouchard's done.
He hasn't. I think he's younger, if I'm not mistaken.
24.
Yeah. And the Stars I think they're building towards something. Their D is pretty good too. They've got a pretty good D there. Obviously, with Heiskanen, it'd be pretty good. But the first thing I thought of Evan Bouchard's money. Then I thought of Lane Hutson's money. Who would I rather have, Lane or Thomas Hartley? And I would go with Thomas. I really like Hudson. Like, he plays a really good game. But this guy's a little bit bigger, and just pretty much almost as good a skater as Lane Hudson.
Mm-hmm. And his deal was 8 years, right?
Yeah, they're
Harley's.
both 8 years. Harley's, yeah. I think he was Harley. Isn't he? I think he was 8 years.
Yeah,
he
sorry.
Is 8 years. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice recovery. The reason that I ask is just in the difference in the money, right? Like, when you go long term like that, I mean, Bouchard, I think if he'd done a longer term deal, with the way the cap's going, the number's probably a little bit higher. So not a direct comp if they're not both 8-year deals, but good money for him. Tons up front. Really good player, and was a real interesting addition to the Four Nations. I remember when he showed up and he had to kind of hide behind the curtain and wasn't allowed to be on the ice with the team, and then stepped out there under tough circumstances and played really well. So there'll be some good battles against this player for a number of years for the Oilers. What else, buddy?
Injury bug strikes in Dallas, or the Devils. It feels like there's a ton of injuries right now. I don't know. Jake Neighbors out for 5 weeks too. Brett Pesce, though, important member of the D for Devils, out for about a month. So that is going to affect them. We remember last year there was Luke Hughes out, Dougie Hamilton. I think Pesce missed some games. Like, I don't know what it is about that team, but it feels like they missed quite a few games due to injury. And then last, Matt Coronado did in fact play for the Flames tonight in their loss to
He was allowed
the
back.
Leafs. But to be mentioned, he played 11 minutes, pretty much fourth line minutes, and he got a ton of power play minutes. So kind of gave him the best and the worst of what you can get. So he was back in there. tonight in the loss to who they say, the Leafs.
All right, there you go. Canadian says, I want Bouchard instead of Harley for a playoff run. I want Harley instead of Bouchard for a short tournament where each mistake is magnified. Interesting. What do you make of that?
Honestly, I'd take either one. Bouchard has a lot more playoff experience, obviously. Bigger shot. Harley's a better skater. I think so. They're both good, man. They're both really good, and I think people are just they're just to understand how good he can be, Harley. So I think we gotta give it a year. Let's see what it looks like after this year.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, let's keep on with our lap around the league, and let's get to our scoreboard. Strud's a real unique day in the league. That is brought to you by the Bridge Sports Therapy. They offer a comprehensive approach that extends beyond temporary pain relief and focuses on developing long-term strength and resilience with clinics in Edmonton, Sherwood Park, Lethbridge, opening soon in St. Albert. Learn more at thebridge.fit. Is that music more aggressive tonight than normal? Like, that came in hot.
Maybe the volume. Whatever. Possibly the volume, but it's the same. It's the same 70s got your back buddy cop show.
All right, Struddy. Take us to the scoreboard, man.
16 games today, 5 OT games out of those, 109 goals scored, 6.8 goals per game, and 2 hat tricks. That's what we had for today. So Canadians win 4-3. They beat the Kraken in overtime. The Canucks lose to the Rangers 2-0. The Rangers will be here in Edmonton for a game on Thursday. The Blackhawks beat the Senders 7-3. In that game, I believe it was a young gentleman, Connor Bedard, got his first hat trick, I believe it was NHL career, in that game. The Jets over the Wild 4-3 in overtime as well. And then finally, the Ducks get by the Panthers 3-2 in Florida in a shootout. So lots of games today, a lot of excitement. I don't love all these games in one day. I'm not going to lie, because you can't watch them all. And I think I'm not sure what the purpose is. I know there's a name for it, but I don't really like it. I think they should spread the games out.
It's like Frozen Frenzy or something. I think it's an ESPN joint where they promote it and do it today. Corey Perry got another one today. Hey,
okay,
just watching it right now.
I hadn't seen it, and it should be mentioned.
In the crease, knocks the goalie over. Sorry, go ahead.
Of course, no. And Justin Brazeau scored again for the Penguins, and they lost. Brazeau is up to 6 goals, man, already. Yeah. Sidney Crosby also 8 goals already.
Good on him.
It's incredible.
Okay, that was our scoreboard, brought to you by the Bridge Sports Therapy and Training. Zuby, there's something I want to get to and ask us anything. Where is it here? It's that one from 4 Oilers on the goaltending. Yes. So if you can go back and grab that one. He's taking a bit of a shot at us. Yes. Might be a fair one, but I want to get to that one in our Ask Us Anything segment. So let's get to that, shall we? Ask Us Anything, your chance to chime in here on the show. Been a great stream tonight. Lots of lively conversation happening and a little challenging of us. So I like that. Thanks, 4 Oilers. Brought to you by Mortgages by Maria, with the Bank of Canada lowering rates. Great time to look at your mortgage. The thing is, your bank only shows you their offer, but Maria brings you options from a whole lineup of lenders, so you get the deal that works best for you. Don't just roll over for the bank. Contact Maria today at mortgagesbymaria.ca. You get a whole bunch more options by doing that. So, Zuby, this one from 4 Oilers here. It says, I love how the entire NHL Twitter is saying that Stu isn't a cup contending goalie and our GYB boys will just ignore it completely. LOL. So, Zuby, first of all, is there a whole Skinner conversation that's been happening in the chat that we have missed? Are we being oblivious tonight?
Not in the chat. I don't know about Twitter, because that's the word that makes that seem like it's a bad idea to begin with. Is Twitter's might be the issue there. On the chat, there were some comments early on feeling like goaltending will still need to be upgraded. It was pretty measured, actually, that for this team to win a cup, goaltending will still have to be addressed and improved. There was a few comments like that. I think 4 Oilers is talking about NHL or Oilers Twitter, and I'm steering clear of that presently.
What do you think, Struds? Are we talking about goaltending enough? Like I mean, he had the one tough one tonight for sure,
Yeah.
but like, I don't know. We will talk about goaltending on the nights where it definitely needs to be talked about. And I think big picture, we've kind of had our say. They're going to see what they've got here for a couple of months. And I don't believe Stan Bowman's going to let it ride on Stu Skinner if he doesn't indicate he's ready to take a step. I just don't think that he's going to let it ride with him again.
Yeah, I think that's the big thing is that, we're going to go from game to game. We critique the players from game to game, but for Stu Skinner, it's about the work, the body of work between now and let's say January 1st, just to make a date. How does he look? How is he consistent? Stan Bowman used the word he wants more consistency from him. So that's what we're looking for. I didn't like today's play. I didn't like they went out to play and went off his heel. Got to figure that out, right? That just can't happen, right? And as a demon, I'd be frustrated with that play because I'm trusting you to deliver the puck to me or to stop it or whatever the case is. So I don't like that one. But I'm not the only one, said, and I believe that Knobloch post game said it was kind of a bad bounce. I get that, but that's the job. If you're going to go behind there, you have to stop that puck or you're sewering me. So the other two, right off the rush, could have, I think the first puck was savable if you want to know the truth, but I think that he has been better this year and consistency matters. So let's revisit this again in another month. Be that in November, see how it looks. End of December, let's see what it looks like because there is time and they're not making a trade for a goalie like today. Although it was interesting that Trent Miner of the Colorado Avalanche was put on waivers, youngish goalie, played a couple games. I don't know. I guess they have their backup already in Connor Ingram down in Bakersfield.
Yeah. So here's where I think it sits right now. I think if Stan Bowman is presented with something that he knows is an upgrade that's doable with the cap, I think he'll pull the trigger. Like I think he would and would be willing to right now. I don't think that trade is there or to be done. I think they're doing their due diligence. This staff works. This staff works hard. In the meantime, they're going to let it ride here with Skinner, see where his game is at. They've put a bit of a possible plan B in place with Ingram, and we'll see, right? Look at Ingram's numbers right now. He's only 2 games in. Not great after 2 games, but it's still so small. So I think they're willing. They're looking. They've got a backup plan in place, but they're also allowing for the idea that Skinner's going to be better this year. And they're going to give him some time to show whether or not he's going to be better because they don't want to trade Stuart Skinner and have him go be better somewhere else. And the replacement for Stu Skinner, what are the chances that a better goaltender is going to come to the Oilers to replace Stuart Skinner for equal to or less than the money that he currently makes, which they can't take lightly, his cap hit as a starting goalie. So we could talk about this and lay this out every single night. I just think that's the working arrangement right now, Struds. And game in, game out, I don't think that necessarily changes. That's just the situation for me.
Yeah. I think it's time. Sorry, not time to do a trade, but time is what they have, and I think they'll use it because this team's a playoff team, and they'll dial in on the exact issue they need to sort out. Whether it's a forward, whether it's a D, although I doubt it's a D. So I think it's a goalie or a forward, but there's time to sort this out.
Yeah,
if it's required.
The goals against are better. The expected goals are not. He's still sort of down among all the starters in the league. Both he and Pickard are way down in terms of goals saved above expected, right? That's a stat they weren't great in last season. So some things are trending back in that type of direction where maybe the story isn't going to change. But he has shown some early signs as well. Zuby, you got anything on this, buddy? You're the goaltender.
Well, if you want consistency, I mean, I know it's not the measure of his entire game, but he's given you 3s and 2s against right now. He hasn't, as we discussed already, he hasn't allowed more than 3. So I mean, like I said, that there's a lot more nuance in a goalie's game than just how many goals go in, but that consistency has been there. And that goal tonight, the one that he misplayed behind the net. Yeah, if that ends up being the difference, it's a backbreaker. He's not a great puck. He's an okay puck handler. He's certainly not a good or great puck handler. that one doesn't bother me that much, especially with the result, because that's still extremely rare. It's not like he's gaffing one like that, every 10 games. He's just kind of an average puck handler, and he usually stays within his lane. And that's just a bad bounce, but it's a detail. He certainly could have handled that better if he had been more dialed in.
All right, there you go. But thank you for that comment, keeping us honest if we're not talking about it enough.
So I'm not sure if we ever actually addressed this. We did address that the team went 11-7. Did we talk about the why? JL and a few others wanting to know what was the reason for going 11-7, Schauger?
Yeah, I think that Stetcher spent a lot of time in the press box. I think Regula's coming back, so they get the sense that there's not going to be any great opportunities to get Stetcher in anytime soon here. I think maybe to Strud's point earlier, get a guy playing because the Oilers might have a trade that they can make here with an extra defenseman. So I think a number of reasons. And then also Strud's, it's not like anybody up front was just, no possible way you could take them out. Like, they were fine.
They're not keeping 9Ds. When everyone's healthy, someone has to go down. Now, it feels like because Stetcher's the oldest, he's the one that'll be sent down or traded. Can you get something for him in a trade? Pretty early in the year, perhaps. Could you get him through waivers? I don't think so. I think someone might pick him up on waivers. So interesting times coming here for the Oilers when Regula is healthy.
Doubling back to the Noah Philp conversation, Marsboy saying Roslovic kind of threw a wrench into the Philp plans too. Now, they don't fill the exact same role, but it did kind of seem like that signing a few games into the season kind of came out of left field. And is that the trickle-down effect possibly of that signing, Schauger?
I think it affects Howard more than Philp.
Okay.
Struds, you? Them getting Roslovic and Roslovic playing reasonably well here?
Yeah, I think Savoy too. Like, I think they're all similar type players. So I think the ice time, it affects it for those two guys. Philp would never be beside Leon Draisaitl, right? Like, that's never going to happen. Just unless you're trying to win a face-off or something like that, but it's not happening.
Let's continue on with that. Canadian said, what did you think of Savoy tonight? Thought he was a bit off. Some turnovers and overthinking. I feel like he's a bit hesitant out there to play off his instincts. What do you think, Struddy?
I think it's a difficult place to be when you see another offensive young player scoring 2 goals and you don't have one yet. I think that's a challenge, and I think that they kind of get in your own head. I love the play he made. I believe it was it Emerson's goal? He helped facilitate the puck moving up to the blue line, then they move it across and they score. I really
third
like
assist
that.
there. It was a good play. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think he's doing a lot of right things. And I wouldn't characterize his night like the texter did. But with Howard scoring 2 goals now and he has 0, I do think that plays on your head.
2:18 of penalty kill time, though, Struds. I'll throw that at you. The Oilers have other guys that can score goals and other guys. Like, I agree Howard is coming on and his numbers are kind of getting better with time, and Savoy's are maybe going the other way a little bit. He just really needs some good offensive things to happen because there have been lots of other players that have come through here that have paid attention to detail and done a lot of really good things. But if the points don't come, it's hard to figure out how you fit in as a player that size and that sort of thing. So I still think there's a good player here, and I still think that he's going to develop, and I think they've got something, but it's a fine line between, getting that confidence and it taking off for you and, Mark Arcabello, like, no disrespect, but small player, smart, moved around pretty well out there, could make some plays, but just it never catches, right? Savoy's a higher pedigree player, but my point is he's going to need some good stuff to happen offensively here soon.
Heart of a Leon says, do you think the board play is hurting us, the Oilers, the most this year? I'll answer this, yes, but maybe you guys can talk about how much, and did you see improvement there tonight, Struddy?
Yeah, and I think he's right. Talking about winning pucks and getting him off the wall. And, tonight there was 2 plays on 2 forechecks where they won a fight on the wall. right? Or they created a turnover, some chaos. They were disruptive. And then those are all words. You can use any adjective you want, but you have to make it hard on the other team's D and get in there. And one was Howard, the other one was Frederick, both doing those things. And that they didn't necessarily win it right away, but they slowed the guy down, stalled him in the offensive zone, and now you can work your way out. So yes, I thought it showed. 5 goals in the second period. That helps.
Just want to throw out a quick shout out to Trent Frederick, who I thought made a really smart play tonight, Struds, by not fighting O'Brien. Because O'Brien was looking for it when his team was down a couple of goals. He was looking for it. He challenged him, and Frederick waved him off. So for a guy who's been under pressure lately to have more of a presence, he was still smart enough not to in that moment, because it would have been not an easy one, but that would have been a way for him to say, yeah, I'm here and I'm doing things the right way. But tactically, it just wasn't the right fight to take. So I give him kudos for that. What do you think?
I'll challenge you a little bit on that one.
Okay, I love it.
That's a guy that I'd feel pretty comfortable I could beat up. And the team's rolling. I don't have a fight yet this year. That might be one I take.
Big picture, if you're Trent Frederick, sure. But in game, your team just grabbed that game. They were up 2 goals. They had just gone up 2 goals. O'Brien's knocking on the door for a reason. He needs that for his team. Why give him the chance at having that one?
Because I think I'm going to beat the guy up. I think I'm going to just blow the roof off this place. Right? So you're thinking I'm going to lose the fight. I'm like, I'm going to beat this guy up and this place is going to blow up and I'm going to get my first fight of the year. So I see it. Now, if that's I don't know who's the tough guy in the NHL. Olivier from Columbus. I
don't think Frederick's going to tangle with those guys very often, buddy. I don't think.
But let me. My point. If he asks you to fight, there's no chance I'm taking that fight. But if it's this guy, yeah, let's do this. You want to meet at center? Let's do it.
You think Frederick's that much tougher than O'Brien? Really?
I do.
I think O'Brien's a pretty good fighter.
Yeah, but you're not losing sleep over that at all. You're like, you want to do this? Let's do this. Not even a hesitation.
But it's not about losing sleep or worrying about, like, it's about the momentum of a game. And your team finally has it back. And all it takes is one punch. Or you lose the fight and they get fired up. And why'd you take that fight?
Yeah, but you're not going to lose that fight. You're like, I'm not losing this fight. I'm going to beat you up. And then my team's going to continue doing well. So that's one I'm like, my gloves will be off in a heartbeat for that.
Love it. Love that perspective. Strudwick's take is better than Rishaug's, says Lauren the Alchemist. So Lauren the Alchemist, you get the final word on this argument. Zuby, let's do 2 more and get out of here.
Sure. You had Pete Bauer on your side. Shagri said that's a lot of downside with not a lot of upside. You don't take that fight. It only takes 1 punch. So it wasn't a runaway victory for Struds in the stream. I'll give you some flowers there, Shagri. Okay. One fun one here from Blommer, and then we're going to get to talk a little bit more about Struddy's TV appearance tonight for a little bit of fun here before we wrap it up. Blommer knows the kind of stuff I like to talk about. He's got a good one here. As we head into the cooler fall weather, what is your ultimate warm me up comfort food? Warm me up from the inside. What's that fall winter comfort food, Struddy?
Chili. I love chili this time of year. Some good French bread loaf. Oh my God. I just got off the elliptical. I walk upstairs.
Don't mock my exercise regimen.
Sorry, I was wrong. I just went for a dog walk. It's the same level of intensity.
You're such a prick. I was going to get on the elliptical this afternoon. So I get home and I was like, I knew I was tired from the Jays game last night. So I said to my phone, like, wake me up in 45 minutes. So I was going to have a quick cat nap. I slept for 3 hours this afternoon, right through my allotted elliptical time. That's not even a nap. That's just flat out going back to bed. 3 hours. Nothing? Anybody? just got
Sorry,
nothing.
What did you say? You did 3 hours on the elliptical?
He had a 3-hour nap. Instead of 20 minutes on the elliptical, had a 3-hour nap. And that's a sleep. For most people, that's a sleep.
Yes.
Unless you're 6 years old.
I can't believe
and
the
daddy
silence
took you
that
swimming.
got. Trizent says tomato soup and grilled cheese sandwich. That's a pretty good one. Grilled cheese and
Really
tomato soup is an old classic. That's a good one there for sure.
Yeah, and Clinton, I'm going to get his name right. Clinton Tiffinger says grilled cheese and mushroom soup. Heart of a Leon says, I've been making chili cheese dogs for work lunches. That's a heck of a lot of effort. Oof. That's fantastic.
Oh, a different one there. Grilled cheese and mushroom soup, says Clinton Tiffinger. I can't do mushroom soup with grilled cheese. It's got to be tomato soup with grilled cheese. That is not a substitution that should be allowed.
Fair point. Fair point.
All right.
I'll tell you mine too. Just that this is fresh in my mind. My mother-in-law made pea soup with ham, like really good, like homemade pea soup with big chunks of ham in it. That's a good one for this time of year for sure. And I also have to, it's my wife's birthday, and she's been like occasionally secretly watching the nuts, not like secretly, but she doesn't like talk to me after the show about something that happened on the show, but she's been watching sometimes. So I don't think she is tonight. Maybe she'll catch up tomorrow, but it is her birthday. So happy birthday to my beautiful wife.
Yeah. Happy birthday to her. Randine actually said to me today, she goes, you know what would be really funny? You have to make sure you wish Zuby's wife a happy birthday on the show, because we totally forgot your birthday and had no idea that it happened.
Yeah.
Go out of your way and wish her a happy birthday.
Okay, now we just, for the last thing here, we want to talk about Struddy. You're getting many, many compliments tonight on your suit from the broadcast, feeling a little randy. Greg said the win was almost as nice as Struddy's suit tonight. Aaron St. Pierre said, let Struddy know that suit was fire. Kurt Walushka says the suit looked great tonight. And from the ladies too, Kayla Weathorn, you looked spiffy in your suit, Struddy. I love the choice of pocket scare. Susan Montalvo, beautiful suit, Struddy. Don't want to make your head too big, but you looked fantastic on the panel. Now, there were some questions here before we get to
hear the end of this.
Lauren the Alchemist wants to know, Struddy, do you have a stylist for your TV appearances?
Yeah, actually, it's my wife, and she put it together tonight. She got it. She wanted me to look, I don't know, extra sexy tonight, and I've got to be careful. When I wear a suit looking that good, I can't walk out of the room. I've got to walk backwards out of the room so she can't see the tight buns.
I'm calling it on this subject matter, because we're at 100 minutes almost here, and he was about to go on for another 90 seconds. So that was Ask Us Anything, brought to you by Mortgages by Maria.
Okay, we have a poll to wrap up also, so let's.
Okay, yeah, go ahead and do that. Yeah,
let's not skip that. So the poll tonight was, how much do you read into tonight's result? A good 40 minutes to build off of. That was 51% of the vote. That was kind of the second that was still a little bit tentative. They're turning the corner. It wasn't going that far. So the next most popular one was They're Turning the Corner, 26%. 12% say nothing. I'm putting 0 into this. It's an outlier at this point. And 11% said it was the jerseys that did all the work. So we threw that in there as an extra bonus answer. 11% are giving the jerseys the credit for the game tonight and not reading anything into the win.
All right, there you go. Let's see what they do on Thursday night. You got to follow it up, put back-to-back games together. Our play of the day is brought to you by, Brownie's back. Our play of the day brought to you by Mainline Water and Sewer, your trusted choice for over 40 years, specializing in sewer line replacement and expert water line repair and replacement. Slow drains are a sign it's time for attention, and aging lines can cause basement backups. They have a trenchless method that is quick, low impact, and often finished in a day, complete with backflow protection. Visit Mainline Water and Sewer. .ca. What do you got in mind today, Struds, other than your hair, your suit, your fit, your sweater, your face, your square jaw, your shoulders? What else you got?
Oh, you're
just
muted.
Let's
just let him keep going. Just let him keep going.
Just great. It's just absolutely beautiful. So congrats to Vladdy.
We didn't hear any of it.
We didn't hear the first part because you were muted. But I have some idea, but let's hear it.
Oh,
I'm going to guess.
Vladdy Guerrero gets it done. 7th home run to the playoffs for him. Incredible. Can't wait to see these next 3 games. I actually want to go 7.
Really?
Yeah.
Just for the spectacle of a game 7.
100%.
In Toronto. That'd be crazy.
Oh, it'd be great. The city's exploding.
It'll be fun tomorrow night. Enjoy, everybody. It was a lively one tonight. Great live stream. Lots of great action. Lots of great comments. And we appreciate it. Check us out on YouTube. Check us out on all our podcast platforms. Drop us a review on iTunes if you don't mind. We'd love to hear from you as well. We'll chat tomorrow. Struddy's World, 12 to 1 o'clock live stream across all of our channels. It's going to be an extravaganza. We'll settle the big guy's head down before then, though. And we'll try and humble him up.
We got a giveaway. Don't forget, tune in. We got a gift certificate for McDonald's that we're giving away. And I have a what I think is a challenging who am I kind of trivia question. So
I like it.
Okay. I like it.
Be there.
Sounds good.
You can't win it unless you're on the live stream.
There you go. Struddy's World tomorrow from 12 to 1 o'clock Mountain Time. We'll talk to you, everybody, again on Thursday after the Oilers and Rangers. See ya.